welcome to the 13th Annual International Peace and Humanity Day ceremony in San Diego, California, presented by San Diego Wish. I am Laura Pilger, San Diego Wish Youth Ambassador, and I'll be your host for today. San Diego Wish, which stands for Worldwide Initiative to Safeguard Humanity, is an organization that promotes peace and harmony among all peoples, cultures, and nations. I'd like to begin this program by thanking our wonderful sponsors and collaborators: Kyocera, Union Bank, Kamatech, San Diego-Yokohama Sister Society, Japanese Friendship Garden, San Diego UU, and Gunzo. We would also like to thank the Port of San Diego and the City of San Diego. We are here today to celebrate International Peace and Humanity Day. International Peace and Humanity Day is celebrated around the world at 8:15 a.m. on August 6, Japanese Standard Time, to appreciate and commemorate the last 77 years of freedom from nuclear wars and to join everyone together in the wish for a world without nuclear weapons. This year, it is more important than ever to send our message to the world. Modern-day use of nuclear weapons may have been regarded as just a remote possibility, but recent events have confirmed that the risk is real. Military actions in Europe have served to destabilize the region and the world as a whole. The current conflict involves nations with nuclear capability, highlighting the risk of a resurgence of nuclear war. It is vital that we speak loudly against the scourge of nuclear weapons and that we emphasize the need for peace. San Diego Wish has commemorated this day with an annual celebration with strong hope for eternal peace at the Yokohama Friendship Bell on Shelter Island in San Diego. This event is consistent with our mission to work towards the creation of a safer world for future generations and to educate people to live in harmony. We thank you for joining us in today's program. Today's events will include personal messages from government leaders in Japan. We will then hear a direct, pre-recorded message from the president and co-founder of San Diego Wish, Dr. Akiko Mikamo. This will be followed by the presentation of cranes and flowers by the youth representatives. Next, we will observe the gonging of the Yokohama Friendship Bell by the executive advisor of San Diego Wish, Mike Kawamura. Finally, this will be followed by our main program created by the San Diego Wish youth team. In recognition of the government leaders in Japan, our first message is from Kazumi Matsui, Mayor of Hiroshima City. He is president of Mayors for Peace, an international organization consisting of over 8,000 member cities in 165 countries and regions dedicated to the promotion of peace. His message includes the following: "It is both my honor and pleasure to send this message on the occasion of the International Peace and Humanity Day 2022. If each of us in civil society sustains an unshakable conviction that nuclear weapons are totally unacceptable and share that conviction persuasively with people around the world, we can compel world leaders to turn away from nuclear deterrence." You can find the full message on our website. Thank you, Mayor Matsui, for your continued hard work and drive for peace around the world. Later in the program, Dr. Mikamo will also be sharing a message from Governor Hidehiko Yuzaki, Governor of Hiroshima Prefecture. I would also like to take this opportunity to read excerpts of a letter sent by the Mayor Tomihisa Taue of Nagasaki City. As a part of today's program, Mayor Taue's message includes the following: "I send this message to you as a representative of the citizens of Nagasaki on the occasion of the International Peace and Humanity Day 2022. Toward the end of World War II, on August 9, 1945, the city of Nagasaki suffered instant destruction from a single atomic bomb. There were 150,000 casualties. After years of feeling progress towards peace, the menace of nuclear weapons now feels nearer than it did a year ago, instead of further away. The threat of military conflict in our global society appears to be growing. In order to put the brakes on current trends and switch gears towards nuclear disarmament, each person must act as a messenger of peace." The full message can be found on our website. Thank you, Mayor Taue, for your inspiring words and consistent efforts to promote peace. Moving on to our San Diego Wish board members, I am proud to introduce our president, Dr. Akiko Mikamo. Dr. Mikamo was born in Hiroshima, Japan. Both her parents were about half a mile from the epicenter of the atomic bomb and miraculously survived. Having been raised in Hiroshima City by atomic bomb survivors and with a disabled older sister, she became determined in her childhood to contribute to world peace and humanity. Dr. Mikamo wrote a first-person account of her father's survival experience and power of love and forgiveness in her book, 815, A True Story of Survival and Forgiveness from Hiroshima. Dr. Mikamo also produced a film based on her book titled 815 Hiroshima, From Father to Daughter. Right now, this documentary film is being screened online worldwide, free of charge, until August 9th, the Nagasaki anniversary.
Hello, everybody. I'm Akiko Mikamo, President of San Diego Wish. Thank you for joining us for our International Peace and Humanity Day 2022 program. I am in Hiroshima City right now, and at the very Peace Memorial Park, where the first atomic bomb exploded over humans in human history in 1945. Now, the city of Hiroshima rebuilt with the resiliency. And together with you, we are actually celebrating the past 77 years of freedom from any nuclear wars. And at the same time, we would like to reflect and commemorate the human tragedies of all kinds in the history. We cannot repeat any weapons of mass destruction way of trying to resolve the conflict. It is not a sci-fi movie story. It has actually happened. And currently, with a lot of conflicts going on in the world, the nuclear war is a possibility. So it is the time for all of us to come together and really create new ways to resolve conflicts and tolerate and exist and embrace differences in our humanity. I would like to relay the message of Governor Hidehiko Yuzaki of Hiroshima Prefecture. He sends his gratitude for everybody getting together and looking at the very important issue right now and working together, especially the San Diego Wish youth team. Our high school students and college students got together and created today's program for you. They took initiative and they did a great project, and we'll be sharing that. It is about peace education, and it is about the future generation. So thank you again, and please watch the rest of the program and join us in our wishes. Thank you.
For the flower presentation at the Yokohama Friendship Bell, I would like to introduce our two youth representatives. First, we are accompanied by Mai Kawamura Oswald. Mai is 8 years old and lives with her family in British Columbia, Canada. Mai is a third-generation Hiroshima atomic bomb survivor and Mike Kawamura's granddaughter. In her free time, Mai enjoys dancing, gymnastics, and riding her bike. She will be starting 4th grade in the fall. Next, I'd like to introduce Matthew Pilger. Matthew is 14 years old and will be starting the International Baccalaureate program at Mission Bay High School in the fall. He is fluent in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and German. Matthew plays competitive soccer and enjoys video games and skateboarding. We also thank Matthew and his brother, Michael Pilger, for creating the preview of this event. It is now my pleasure to introduce Executive Advisor of San Diego Wish, Mike Kawamura. Mike Kawamura is a survivor of the Hiroshima atomic bombing in 1945. He was 2.5 years old at the time. In 1969, he joined Kyocera Corporation of Kyoto, Japan, and held many executive positions of Kyocera Group companies in the US, Europe, and South America. He has since retired and serves on the board of directors of the Japanese Friendship Garden, the Japan Society of San Diego and Tijuana, and San Diego Wish. He's a recipient of KPBS and Union Bank's 2012 Local Hero Award. Mike shares messages of tolerance and understanding between nations. In a few moments, we will be experiencing the gonging of the Friendship Bell at Shelter Island, donated to the city of San Diego by your sister city, Yokohama, Japan. Mr. Kawamura will lead us in this event. In his words, "Remembering the past is committing ourselves to the future, commemorating the historical event and appreciating the past 77 years of freedom from nuclear war at exactly 8:15 a.m. local Hiroshima time. This event is symbolic of our wish to continue to have a world free of nuclear weapons for the betterment of humanity." We will now be joining Mr. Kawamura live at Shelter Island for our annual tradition, the ringing of the Yokohama Friendship Bell. At the hour of 4:15 p.m. Pacific time, he will be ringing the bell 3 times in pausing and silent reflection. The infamous date of August 6, 1945, at exactly 8:15 a.m. local time in Hiroshima, represents the precise moment when the atomic bomb was dropped. This time translates to August 5, 4:15 p.m. Pacific time. The events of that moment directly affected the lives of hundreds of thousands of people and had rippling effects upon the future of all humankind. Thank you, Mr. Kawamura. Inspired by this, the following project is a product of the efforts of San Diego High Japanese Club students who are a part of the San Diego Wish youth team. These students created and produced this video project while working with San Diego Wish co-founders Dr. Mikamo and Mr. Kawamura. This video was created using the Kamishibai storytelling style and then presented to the elementary school students with Mr. Kawamura to spread the message of peace.
San Diego Worldwide Initiative to Safeguard Humanity, or SD-WISH, is an organization started by Dr. Akiko Mikamo and Ikunosuke Mike Kawamura to foster world peace and prevent the future use of atomic weapons. Dr. Mikamo is a daughter of a survivor of the Hiroshima bombing, and Mr. Kawamura survived the Hiroshima bombing himself when he was 2 years old. Now, Mr. Kawamura speaks to students all over San Diego about his experience and the importance of peace.
Okay, as you learned from reading the book by Maria, US and Japan had a war 81 years ago, a long time ago. On August 6, 1945, atomic bomb was dropped over the city of Hiroshima. At that time, I lived in Hiroshima. I'm a survivor of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. Although I'm a survivor, I was very young, only 2.5 years old, so I don't remember much. In Hiroshima, there is a little mountain called Hijiyama on the east side of the city. The atomic bomb was dropped on the west side of Hijiyama, and I was living on the east side. But because of this mountain, they protected myself, so I was safe. My father and mother and I originally lived in the center of the Hiroshima, not far from the epicenter. but my mother had died 2 weeks prior to the bomb due to tuberculosis. Tuberculosis was believed to be an incurable disease at that time. She was only 26 years old. Because of her death, my father and I moved to the east side of Yokohama, where my grandmother lived. My grandmother took care of me then. Had she lived, the 3 of us would have continued living in the center of the city and would not have survived the bomb. I'd probably not be here today speaking to all of you. I truly believed that my mother, through her death, had saved both of us. Unfortunately, I lost one of my cousins in the atomic blast. She was a 16-year-old high school student and was killed with her classmate in the school. I also lost several friends due to leukemia during my elementary school days. This was my childhood. As an adult, I joined a Japanese global company and came to the States in 1971. Since then, I have been outside of Japan for 51 years. I worked and lived in the US, Europe, and South America. I have lots of friends worldwide. My 2 daughters married nice young Americans, and I have 2 grandchildren now. My family also has become globalized. For these reasons, I have a strong desire for world peace. 12 years ago, I established a Sunday Wish with a few colleagues. Our mission is to work towards the creation of a safer world for future generations like you, and to educate people to live in harmony. We have been holding a World Peace ceremony at Diego-Yokohama French Bell in Shelter Island on August 5th every year since then. This is Shelter Island, Diego-Yokohama French Bell, and this is a ceremony. We will ring the French bell and pray for world peace at 4:15 p.m. On August 5th, which is 8:15 a.m. on August 6th in Japan. It is the exact time the atomic bomb was dropped over the city of Hiroshima in 1945. This is ringing a bell. 81 years ago, US and Japan were engaged in a war. However, after the war, the 2 countries have become good friends and allies. We must continue this relationship. This is a photo of in August 1945. Yes. This is a photo of present day of Hiroshima. As you can see, there has been a big change. It shows humanity's great power and ability to recover. We should not repeat the same mistake we had 81 years ago. It is very important to understand other countries' cultures and traditions. I hope you will develop many friendships with children from all over the world. With this friendship, you will learn and gain an understanding of the country's history, customs, and their day-to-day lives. As a result, you will learn to cooperate and support others, and also be compassionate and caring towards others too. As you grow older, and as you maintain this friendship, this will play a large part towards world peace. Unfortunately, there are wars, terrorism, and riots in the world right now. I have high hopes that all of you will keep your friendship with children from all over the world and create a peaceful world when you become adult, future leaders. I'm counting on you. It might be a little difficult for you to understand my speech, and maybe you might not remember everything that I shared with you today. However, I hope you remember that you met a Hiroshima atomic bomb survivor today, and that he spoke to you for importance of the peace and friendship.
Inspired by Dr. Mikamo and Mr. Kawamura, San Diego High School Japanese Club also works to spread the message of world peace through video projects. To commemorate this year's ceremony for International Peace and Humanity Day, we created a Kamishibai video to help elementary school students understand the horror of atomic warfare and the importance of peace for the future of humanity. Kamishibai is a traditional Japanese storytelling form that uses still images to illustrate the story. Our art was completed by Beloved. Kanan wrote the script, which was performed by Isabel. Owen completed the editing and sound. In our story, the main character, Future, experiences the bombing firsthand. Once upon a time, there was a child named Future. She grew up in a thriving city. Future liked going to school and playing with her friends. She liked to play fruits basket and hide and seek. Future had a mom, a dad, and an older brother. She loved her family and treasured them more than anything in the world. One day, when her brother left for the day, he had tears in his eyes. "He's leaving for a long time," her mother said. "He's serving in that terrible war." Future hasn't seen her brother since. Although there was one less person at the table, the portions on Future's plate were getting smaller and smaller. At first, she was worried, but her father explained, "It's very hard to get food these days," he said. "It's all because of that terrible war." Although she wanted to have hope, it felt like nothing was right anymore. One day, Future was at school with her friends. Suddenly, there was a loud noise from the other side of the city. The ground began to rumble and shake, and Future became very scared. When she looked outside the window, what was once a city had turned to rubble and ash. The skies that had once been blue had turned an angry red. Future had to make sure her family was okay. Without looking back, Future ran as fast as she could toward her home. All around her, once tall buildings had turned to unrecognizable piles of broken wood and stone. As the dust and ash sprinkled down from the red sky, Future began to cough. The sweltering heat surrounded her as she ran, breathing in as much ash as air. She saw that other people around her were struggling too. Even though she wasn't close to the explosion, the air, heat, and rubble had made people fall to the ground or run to the river. As Future looked out onto the city that was once her playground, she felt an overwhelming sense of sadness. She hugged her parents as she cried for her friends, family, and community. She felt lost and confused. Everything she had once known was lost. Future mourned the loss of her people, but she knew that she could not give up on them. She began searching for any glimmer of hope she could find. Day after day, Future set out on her journey of trying to rebuild what had been broken. Just when she started giving up, she found something in the distance. Something bright, colorful, and full of life. Amongst all of the destruction and rubble, Future saw a flash of green. As she got closer, she realized that it was a tree bearing fruit. Throughout all the chaos, she thought, could there really be something like this still standing? Future looked around and saw a world of disaster. While the tree had sparked hope in Future, she wanted to bring this hope to others, no matter if they were friends or strangers or soldiers or family. She gathered all of the fruit off of the tree and passed it around the world. It's peace that builds our future, but it's hope that helps us come together and fight for it. We showed this to several groups of elementary school students at Crown Point Junior Music Academy and Doyle Elementary School to motivate the viewers to contribute how they can. After viewing the video, we asked them questions about preventing war and promoting peace. How did you feel watching the video?
It was kind of confusing and sad. Watching the video, I felt sad. Well, I felt like sad because they were bombing the place, but at the end, I felt kind of good because she was like getting the fruits off of the tree and giving them to everyone, even though like there was a big explosion over there. Well, when I was watching the video, I felt pretty sad because when the war happened, people died, and that might be a part of someone's family that they will be cared for, and they didn't want the bomb to be dropped. I felt that it made it clear that war is not good for the environment for anyone, because you lose a lot of people, and you lose friends and family and strangers, just innocent people.
When I watched the video, I felt upset seeing all the destruction that was in Future's home.
Kind of disappointed in how well the Americans acted, because well, they could have done it in a different way.
I felt like that this kind of destruction should not be in the world, and I want to help stop it.
I felt devastated that things like this occur around the world, because it shouldn't get to the point where where people lose their homes and are feeling this.
I feel sad because I don't think it's nice to do something like that, and there's some people that doesn't deserve it.
I felt kind of sad that we had to use violence to solve problems that two countries had, and a lot of lives were lost.
I felt kind of disappointed in America because they resorted to violence instead of negotiating or talking it out with Japan.
What do you think peace means?
Like calm, quiet, not the opposite of crazy. Let's say if someone breaks a cookie and there's a cookie, and then you break the edge off and then give it to one person, and then you get the bigger half. It's not really like, I mean, it would be peace if like you just like gave together, because if you just gave the corner, it would be like a fight sort of, because one person got the bigger side than the other person. I think that peace means that definitely not war, because I think peace means like when nobody fights at all and like everybody's just friends.
Peace means to me, it means like you shouldn't drop bombs. You should just be quiet, just do your stuff, and then never like interrupt anyone with a giant bomb that started the World War II.
No war and just no one getting hurt unnecessarily.
I think peace means that like you treat others with respect and everyone gets the same chances.
I think peace means well, when there's no like fighting and people are kind to each other.
To me, peace means like everyone living happily together and making friends and understanding each other.
Peace means I think peace means that everyone gets along with each other, and there's no discrimination, and everyone has equal rights.
Peace means is where when people work together and they're capable of helping others, like trading.
For me, peace means for me is no conflicts and everyone's opinions, or just everyone can be treated equally.
Peace means, like all my other friends said, that you treat everyone equally and treat them with respect.
What does peace look like in your life?
Peace looks like my sisters aren't yelling or screaming, or when someone's not going crazy. Being kind, nice, not dropping bombs. Peace looks like to me where everybody is just really happy and like all together.
Peace looks like in my life that I can imagine like peace as no one like doing mean stuff and like no one bossing people around, or no like even the tiniest of things can be solved by peace. No one fighting with like hurtful like weapons and stuff, just words.
Peace looks like people being treated equally. Peace looks like when everyone is like treated kindly and no one is like getting like discriminated or like left out from something.
To me, making lots of friends, like learning new things about each other, and basically having fun and stuff.
Peace. I mean, in my life, I think that peace is when everyone works together, and when there's a group project, not one person. We don't. People don't fight to get. Don't fight for. For people don't fight. They compromise or make a better solution.
Where everyone's basically friends and stuff, and there's no like bullying sort of stuff.
Peace is probably everyone working together and we can all come up with an idea to favor all of us.
Peace in my life looks like when everyone gets along and there's not a lot of arguing.
How can you make a peaceful world?
Making a peaceful world would be like not dropping bombs, not breaking the cookie unevenly, not starting a fight.
I can make a peaceful world by having nobody fight. I can make a peaceful world by just focusing on myself and not each other, because that makes people feel like that they're not important to the world.
By encouraging no like bombs and guns and stuff that can kill people, just like words.
I can go around the world making sure that everyone's getting treated fairly and making sure that no one's just getting left out. I can make a peaceful world by well, first like I could try to share like happiness that some people may not have.
I can do my best to make more friends and keep good relationships with everyone.
I've always wanted to start in like an organization. It's sort of big, but like I want to start like an organization and raise money for a certain one program.
By basically also helping the world, which we have a problem with trash, and also not really hurting other people when some specific people does deserve.
I can make a peaceful world by trying to help people and maybe try to understand their opinions and why.
I can make a peaceful world by going around the world and helping people in need and trying to make everyone get along.
How should countries solve problems without bombs?
Avoiding the problem in the first place. Countries should solve problems without bombs by, well, it would be like with the cookie, like just talk about it and like make it equal, sort of. Like, talk about it. Let's say one city gets, like, I guess both cities find a treasure chest. One city gets more gold than the other city. Just give one of the cities, like, half of the gold that you already have, because you have more than them, so just give them half of that. And you would have an equal number.
You have to use words and places. So you go to a place and talk to someone to see how you're feeling and stuff. You don't use bombs to say that you're angry. You should use your words and speak to someone.
You talk about it, you have a meeting, you just talk about it.
They could use their words and try to like give peace instead of like trying to encouraging a war. They could try to understand.
They should they could talk it out instead of like fighting first, and if that doesn't work, then maybe then they should try to like have like a different plan.
I think like the leader should talk it out and see a peaceful solution rather than destruction.
Like my other classmates said, the leader should talk it out to find a peaceful option because they shouldn't resort to violence all of this right away.
Like one of my classmates, I think we should just talk it out.
Like the other students said, probably try to talk it out. But if that doesn't work, we can probably make like a trade thing where both countries can get resources that their country probably doesn't have a lot of.
They should try to negotiate or talk it out instead of resorting to bombs and weapons.
Why do you think peace is important?
Peace is important because it kind of keeps us together instead of tearing us apart. Peace is important because if you didn't have peace, it would just be like fights everywhere, just being mean to each other, dropping bombs everywhere.
Peace is important because peace is when you're friends, and friends is really good. And when it's not peace, you're fighting, and fighting is not good. Peace is important because if we didn't have peace, it would be an angry world dropping bombs like every week. And that would just break apart the world. And no one wants that because whoever drops the bomb is basically going to get the bomb. Because if someone drops a bomb at force, other people are going to get mad because they did nothing. And so that's just sad that people get angry. So you shouldn't use bombs. You should talk to people in a certain way so they don't get frustrated like that.
Because without peace, life would not be very enjoyable for most people. Because like you can't really get along or anything. You can't do what you want. It's just war.
I think peace is important because it helps the world a lot by making sure that it's not all just bombs and wreckage. It's kind of like using your words and not fighting them.
I think peace is important because then like we wouldn't have like if we didn't have peace, then we wouldn't even have a world in the first place because then the whole entire world would be chaos.
I think peace is important because it can help make a better world. And I think we all want that right now with Russia and Ukraine having this time. So,
Peace is important because without peace, we wouldn't have all the opportunities and we have right now because no one would get along and there wouldn't be that many opportunities for people to experience.
Because without peace, war would probably happen, a lot of bullying, and I believe this is going to be a major problem with school.
I think peace is important because if we use nuclear bombs, it's probably gonna harm the world a lot since it releases a lot of carbon dioxide, and we should keep our world as beautiful as it is now because we only have one of them.
Peace is important because if we didn't have peace, we wouldn't be able to live in the world we live in now. Otherwise, I think the world would probably be war torn and everything would just be burnt to the ground.
The answers from Doyle Elementary and Crown Point Elementary students bring us hope for a future of peace. SCHS Japanese Club and SC Wish hope you take their words to heart and spread peace, joy, and hope in the world.
Thank you so much to San Diego Wish, Dr. Mikamo, Mr. Kawamura, committee member Ms. Chika Sasaki, the San Diego Wish youth team, and to all stakeholders whose efforts have made this event possible. And a very special thank you to all of you, our supporters, who have made the extra effort to join us remotely and join us in our mission. Let us take what we have learned to make a better, safer tomorrow for future generations.